हाय अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर कामरान है और मैं पाकपैक का प्रेसिडेंट इलेक्ट हूँ। आज जो हमारा इवेंट है वो है बाईएनुअल कांग्रेशनल रिसेप्शन। इसका मतलब है कि हर 2 साल के बाद जब नई कांग्रेस आती है तो हम उनको इनवाइट करते हैं, उनको इशाया देते हैं और हम उनको पाकपैक से इंट्रोड्यूस करवाते हैं। जो पाकपैक का मकसद है कि वो जो भी फेडरल इलेक्शंस होते हैं उनमें जो भी कैंडिडेट जो पाकपैक के साथ काम करना चाहते हैं, जो एजुकेशन को फ़रोग देना चाहते हैं, जो सिविल लिबर्टीज़ को फ़रोग देना चाहते हैं, हम उनके साथ काम करते हैं। इसके साथ साथ हम कम्युनिटी के अंदर पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविज़म पैदा करते हैं और हम कम्युनिटी को इस बात पर उभारते हैं कि वो पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस का हिस्सा बने ताकि हम कुछ तब्दीली ला सकें। Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Kamran Ali and I am President-elect of PAKPAC. Thank you so much for coming here. I would like to introduce our new congressman, Mr. Gregory Stanton. Mr. Gregory Stanton is a new congressman from Arizona 9th District. He has been the previous mayor of Phoenix, a great leader, dedicated and passionate person. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much for being everyone. It's an honor to be here. I've been in Washington now as a Congress member for less than 1 week, and I feel like an expert already. And after a busy day today on the floor in which we voted to support the Affordable Care Act, and we voted to help reopen the government, we talked about again on being here at PAKPAC. It's an honor to be here. Look, the Pakistani American community in Arizona is large, it's growing, it's very active. They supported my campaign from day one. They did a great job of teaching me, educating me, giving me accurate information about issues that the Pakistani American community are facing, the economic strength and power of the Pakistani American community, and of course, the strategic relationship, how important it is between the United States and Pakistan. So the PAKPAC in Arizona have done their job. I won, they supported me, and I look forward to working with every single person in this room to advance American policy and advance that critically important relationship. Thank you for letting me say a few words. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me. I'm Elissa Slotkin from Michigan's 8th District. We have a very large South Asian population in Rochester and Rochester Hills. I'm still convinced that every Pakistani American in my district is actually a doctor or married to a doctor. It's the best place to have a heart attack is in any Pakistani American event. And in all seriousness, the Pakistani American community came out for me in a huge way in my race. And my race was a very difficult district. It voted for Donald Trump by 7 points. It is a Republican gerrymandered district. And we were able to flip it because the Pakistani American community organized, knocked doors, made calls, and came out. So I am a huge supporter of, please get over that. I am a big believer that in our society, in our democracy, you must advocate for yourself. So I'm a big supporter of the mission of this organization and anything that we can do to mobilize the community. We did meet a lot of people in the beginning who said that they weren't going to vote. And I am extremely proud at the mobilization of the South Asian community in my district. It was one of my most proud moments, was to see those numbers come back, and we actually won the 2 cities where the South Asian community is strongest, so which are largely Republican cities. So thank you for having me. Thank you for being organized and for fighting. We need you, and it's my pleasure to be here. Thanks very much.
We just finished our first couple of days in the new Congress, and it's really exciting to see a new diverse mosaic of our country really be represented in the halls of Congress. We're not only in diversity in race or gender, but we are also diverse in perspective. So it's really exciting for us to be able to work on behalf of the citizens of this nation that elected us. I'm also super honored to be a Muslim serving this important time in our nation. As many of you know, most of our communities has been vilified, demonized. A lot of politicians on the other side have used our community to fearmonger, to send a negative message, to say, look who's coming into your country and the damage that they can cause. So it's really exciting for there to be a visual representation of a Muslim woman who is also a hijabi, a Muslima that you can identify with, that people can see be represented in Congress. That is a powerful message that the people of Minnesota made and many of you have invested in. So I want to thank you for using the resources that you had to help send that message. Most of our communities, oftentimes as immigrants, we're described as people who don't, who have not or are not willing to put their bags down. We are always too concerned about what's happening with our beloved home countries. And I know that for the half generations like myself, the young people who came here looking for opportunities, and the ones that are born, like my children who are the first generation, are excited about what it means for us to partake in the beauty that is available in this country. All of the sacrifices that many of you have made to come here to invest in us is being lived out now by my generation and the generations to come. So we want to thank you, and we want to thank you for the future investments you're going to make sure that people feel our presence, that they recognize our presence, and that they continue to fear our presence in a good way. So I am your sister, your daughter, your auntie, and I really appreciate all of you for believing in me, for believing in people like my brother Andre Carson and Rashida Tlaib and everyone else that represents you in your own communities that might not pray like you or look like you. Collectively, we are going to fight for the rights and the values of all of the people we represent. So thank you so much for having me, and enjoy your night.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shalom. Hallelujah. Pass the ammunition. Well, I want to thank you. Thank you, Dr. Farouk. I was at his home a few weeks ago. I'm so encouraged when I see Sister Ilhan Omar, the future of America, is here with you today. Give her a round of applause. Many of our congressional colleagues are here as well. You know, Sister Ilhan, her spirit, her wisdom, her intelligence, her humility is inspirational. In 1984, I like to say I got my political feet wet. A guy by the name of Jesse Jackson was running for president. And even though he didn't get the nomination, I found myself at 9 years old, soon to be 10 that year, registering voters, even though I wasn't old enough to vote. I was inspired by that. When I see Ilhan, I get that same kind of inspiration. When I ran in 2008, people were calling me a terrorist. They were saying I was a sleeper cell. And people were afraid to give money. I had one personal friend give a check. And the first group to put together a fundraiser for me was the local South Asian community. So the Indo-Pak community, South Asian community always has a special place in my heart. And I've always said, I want to see in this immigration fight a coalition, not just of the South Asian community, but I tell my Latino friends all the time, you have friends in this immigration fight with the South Asian community, the East and West African community, European community, the Arab American community. We have to put our labels aside and come together as one community and one ummah to fight the bigger fight. Now, you know, I said this years ago, I had a prediction. You didn't know I had slacking abilities, did you? I said that we're going to have Muslim women in Congress. And it'd be great to have Muslim sisters with hijab and without hijab, and we have both, alhamdulillah. And now we have Sister Ilhan. I'm excited that she's in Congress. But you know, her future is so bright, I don't want you to limit her to Congress. I can see her in the Senate. I can see her in the governor's mansion.
Inshallah.
I can see her in the White House. Congress can change the rules. She'll be in the White House. Keep your eye on that sister, because she's the future. She says I'm her big brother. I am, and I'm protective too. She doesn't need security because you know what? She's also a ninja, so don't try it. But in case she doesn't want to do anything, I'll step in for her. Friends, we can't stop here. We have a president who is so obsessed with building a wall that he's willing to stop federal workers from getting their checks. Over 5,000 Hoosiers will be impacted. We have hundreds of thousands of American workers who go to work each and every day who won't get their checks. He's trying to solidify his base. He's trying to create a boogeyman for the immigrant community. You have people from Africa, people from South Asia, people from the Middle East, people from Latin America who are coming to our country. And in 3 months to 6 months, they're building businesses. And you know what? They're putting Americans back to work. That is the immigration story. That is the story that we should be telling, not the story of Donald Trump. And if you voted for Donald Trump, no judgment. But I'm going to talk about you. I hope you have buyer's remorse. Brothers and sisters, we have 3 Muslims in Congress. And I'm excited about that number. But inshallah, in 2020, we need to have 5 Muslims in Congress. In 2022, we need to have 10 Muslims in Congress. Slow down. I like your ambition, but slow down. And by 2030, we should have at least a caucus, at least of 20 people. At least, maybe 30 people. On both sides of the political aisle. PAKPAC, what you're doing is so important. No longer can we have politicians and elected officials, we have brilliant ones here, they're my buddies, come to our communities, come to our iftars, come to our masajids, say assalamu alaikum, and leave. We need to make sure that we're supporting the Ilhans of the world, that we're supporting Brother Andres of the world, and punishing those who support anti-Sharia legislation. We need to make sure that we're creating our own PACs to buy up our own commercial airtime, to create our own narrative against the Islamophobia that is so pervasive in our society. So thank you for having me. Keep your eye on Sister Ilhan. If she's being attacked, defend her. If she needs help getting out of the car, help her. If people step to her, I want you brothers to surround the wall around her and defend her. She is our future. She is our future. Thank you very much.
My name is Rifat Chuktai. I'm the past president of PAKPAC and a national board member. This is actually the 3rd bipartisan congressional new Congress reception that PAKPAC has done. And every other year, it's getting better and better. We are getting more response from Capitol Hill. Today was an unbelievable day. We had so many legislators, and there was so much diversity that was represented, which is United States. It was a clear picture of America, and it was extremely successful. And as everybody saw today, how they were all responded to U.S.-Pakistan relations also, how important that relationship is, how civil rights and civil liberties are important to Pakistani Americans and other communities, the other diasporas. We had a lot of community leaders, Pakistani American leaders from all over United States. People came from Texas, people came from Michigan, from New York, from New Jersey, from Pennsylvania. So there was, and similarly the representatives were also from all over different states. And we are very happy. It was a very successful event.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम, माय नेम इज़ डॉक्टर जलील खान, आई एम द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ पाकपैक। हमारा अभी जो इवेंट ख़त्म हुआ है, बेसिकली हमारा ये हम लोग एवरी अदर ईयर वी डू दिस इवेंट इसको हम कहते हैं कांग्रेशनल वेलकमिंग इवेंट, जो हमने 116 कांग्रेस के लिए तरतीब दिया था। इसमें हमारे 25 से ज़्यादा लेजिस्लेटर्स ने हमारे साथ ताउन किया और वो हमारे प्रोग्राम में आए। और बेसिकली PAKPAC हैज़ मेड क्वाइट ग्रेट इनरोड्स इन वाशिंगटन DC, और हमारे लिए PAKPAC का नाम, पाकिस्तान का नाम जानने के लिए, पाकिस्तान के बारे में जानने के लिए कांग्रेसमैन बहुत इंथुजियास्टिक होते हैं। तो बेसिकली वो PAKPAC को हम सारे कैंडिडेट्स को सपोर्ट करते हैं। हम बाई पार्टीसन हैं। हमारे पास अभी आज रिपब्लिकन्स भी आए, डेमोक्रेट्स भी आए, और आपने देखा कि वो दे वर ऑल प्रेजिंग PAKPAC's job, what we do to bring awareness to Pakistani community and Pakistani diaspora to make them political active.
आज के फंक्शन में जो सबसे अहम बात है, हमारे दो जो मुस्लिम कांग्रेस वुमेन इलेक्ट हुई हैं वो दोनों थी, जिनमें इल्हान ओमर है और दूसरी रशीदा तलैब है। इसके साथ साथ जो हमारे तकरीबन 7 से 8 ऐसे लोग आए जो बिल्कुल फर्स्ट टाइम कांग्रेस में आए हैं। तो ये बहुत अहम है कि हम इन लोगों को एजुकेट करें, क्योंकि वो कांग्रेस में आए हैं तो हम इनको PAKPAC के साथ जो है इनका इंट्रोडक्शन हो, इनका पता हो कि पाकिस्तान क्या चाहता है और पाकिस्तानी कैसे ताल्लुकात चाहते हैं पाकिस्तान और अमेरिका के दरमियान। तो हमारे तकरीबन 20 के करीब कांग्रेस वुमेन और सेनेटर आए और उन्होंने PAKPAC के साथ यकजहती का मुजाहरा किया, और वो इस बात के बड़े शुक्रगुजार थे कि कैसे पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी ने इलेक्शन जीतने में उनकी मदद की है।